Can't say I really do mountains of coke anymore either.
Couple friends late at night outside of a pub. The scent of weed, the sound of music from up above. Man emerged, laughing, his eyes bled red.
Oh hi, it's that time. Drop in with Frank, so come on in.
They headed up to see who this was. Now every once in a while they drop in.
Yes, it was a real spoon. It looked like this. It was about 6 inches long, complete silver. The spoon part had been ground down so it would only hold about 1/4 gram of cocaine at a time. But the stem of the spoon had these sort of tendril-looking leaves that went up it, and at the top was a demon's head. And it had its mouth wide open. There were fangs that were actually in silver coming out of the mouth. And a whole garland of grape leaves around its head. How did I get an Allesiter Crowley Coke spoon? It was purchased from the estate of Allesiter Crowley in 1949, I believe it was, when they had the estate sale of Crowley after his death, and all the pictures and artwork for the tarot cards and all that were disseminated. I knew these two big-time Coke dealers, and these guys did like $30,000, $40,000 kind of deals. So they were pretty high up on the food chain, but they were also very heavily invested in mystic things and occult things. And I happened to have 2 books written by this guy, Manly P. Hall, and I had bought a signed copy and an unsigned copy. They offered to trade the Allesiter Crowley Coke spoon for the signed copy, and I took them up on it, so I had it. A couple of weeks later, I was reading the Santa Cruz newspapers, and drug dealers killed in an execution style. And I read further on, what had happened is somebody had gone into their house, made them sit on their knees, tied their hands behind their backs, put shotguns to the back of their heads and pulled the trigger, and their brains were like 6 feet in front of them in the fireplace with their bodies slumped over when they were found. And there was obviously, pretty much a drug execution. So these guys were like serious. I read this and I have the spoon and I keep it for a number of years, and life changes, and now I'm working at KSJO San Jose 92.3 FM, and I was there at the station one morning, and Ozzy Osbourne was coming by the station. He was doing Day on the Green at the time, these big concerts at Oakland Coliseum outside, and Ozzy was headlining. It was the first Ozzy Blizzard of Oz tour when he still had Randy Rhoads, that amazing guy, as his lead guitarist. And so Ozzy comes by the station in a huge white stretch limo with Sharon, who wasn't Sharon Osbourne then. Her name was Sharon Arden. And her dad was Don Arden, who owned a number of labels. So they both show up at the station, but our focus is really Ozzy. First, I take Ozzy to meet our music director, Tom Mix. So I introduce them, and then I run down to the station studio, the broadcast studio, to prep them for I'll bring Ozzy down in a few minutes. I do that. I walk back into Tom Mix's office, and okay, Ozzy, let's go. They're ready for you here. Thanks, Tom. And we walk out of there. Tom later tells me that was one of the weirdest conversations I've ever been in. And I go, well, what did he say? He goes, well, he didn't really say anything. He just sat there and looked at me. And then all of a sudden, Ozzy Osbourne says, she made me do it, I didn't want to, but she made me do it. I hope I don't ever eat cat food again. And that was all he said. And then I came and got him. So Tom to this day is like, what was that guy talking about? So I take him down to the station, and he's going to be interviewed by Ton Mastery. So she asks him the usual tour questions to break the ice, and then she goes, well, let's get a little personal, you know. What's your favorite Black Sabbath record now that you're solo? Looking back, what's your favorite Black Sabbath album? And he says, Red, which makes no sense at all. So Ton goes, oh, well, I guess I should ask you maybe what your favorite color is. And he says, Sabbath, bloody Sabbath. And it's like, wow, this guy's obviously been asked these questions too many times. Yeah, okay, great. So we give a big plug for the Day on the Green thing from Bill Graham. And then I waltz him out of there, and we walk into Studio B to take station IDs. Those all, I'm Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm sitting here, and I listen to KSJO, blah, blah, blah. So we're setting those up, and I had brought the Allesiter Crowley Coke spoon. And I show it to Ozzy because it's the first album. It's the Blizzard of Oz tour, and the song Mr. Crowley is one of the best songs on the record. So I show it to Ozzy, and he's like, oh, wow, this is incredible, man. Oh, this is so insane. This is beautiful. Allesiter Crowley. Oh, my God, to think that he touched this. Oh, this is fucking amazing. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And he slips it into his top pocket. So I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to do? Yeah, he's not going to steal it from me, but I got to figure out how to do this. So we keep talking, and now it's time to go to the limo. So we run into Sharon again, and we walk through the station out to the limo, and I'm like, man, how am I going to pull this off? How am I going to bring this up? Yeah, maybe he'll say something, you know. So we get to the limo, and Sharon gets in the limo, and then Ozzy goes to get in the limo, and I go, Ozzy, I didn't get that silver Coke spoon from you. And he goes, oh, I left it in the room on the counter there. And I go, no, actually you didn't. I think you must have mistakenly put it in your top pocket. Oh, right, here you go. Sorry. Boom, door closes, you know. And they start backing up. And I back off and start walking back into the station. I'm going, damn, you know, why did Ozzy Osbourne have to end up being a rip-off asshole? I mean, I scared my parents so many times with Black Sabbath cranked, number 11 from my bedroom, you know, Demons and Destruction and all that kind of stuff. They were freaking my parents out. You know, they thought they had a satanic kid. And, just, wow, you're shooting down one of my heroes. So I take a few more steps and I go, there's two ways to look at this. And they all revolve around the statement, fuck up. Now, was Ozzy so fucked up and kind of evil and twisted and an asshole, so fucked up that he had no problem ripping me off with a spoon because what the heck, he's a rock star, what am I going to do? Or was he so fucked up that he has no idea what he's doing? And the same way I've walked off with people's lighters, he walked off with the Allesiter Crowley Coke spoon, and I made the point to save the mistake, and now I still have the spoon. And then I stopped again and went, Ozzy means too much for me. I refuse to believe he's a rip-off thief. He was just so fucked up, he had no idea what he was doing. End of story. Black Sabbath rules. Took it over to my friend Bob Galliani, who was my boss at Atlantic Records. Buddy, when I told him this story, went, "Oh man, I'll give you a ride tomorrow to the city. Call the guy up, we'll go get it," you know. And it's like, well, no, I haven't seen the guy in 30 years. I can't really, "Hey man, how's it going? I want that spoon an hour from now," you know. And I suffer from post-hepatitis, cirrhosis of the liver, diabetes, and a host of other diseases, and can't say I really do mountains of coke anymore either.